sports entertainment fair every Sunday. It's The Ref on the Heads Up Radio Network.
I kind of always knew that would bite me in the butt sometime, sooner or later. So we'll make today a sports entertainment day. Hi, I am The Ref. My name is Carmine Conti. I am going to portray the role of The Ref today. Welcome back. If you were with us last week and you're catching our second live broadcast here from the high atop Mount Fujiyama in the Pacific Northwest. I guess that would be Best Hill for those of you that live around here. But welcome back. I'm glad to have you back here, and we'll give you a premise here once again of what The Ref is all about. What is it about? And what we are and what we do here at Heads Up Radio is we try to stay with the pulse of America and abroad. If there's a good-looking one out there, we'll stay a pulse on her too. But the premise is we're going to pick some hot topics today. We usually try to get people to call in with the hot topic of the day, hopefully the hot topic of the day. If you got a hot topic and it looks like it's burning, give us a call here at Heads Up Radio. I'm going to give all the info stuff here in a few minutes and tell you how to get a hold of us. And first, I'm going to kind of just run a little bit of my mouth here to kind of tell you what's going on here on headsupradio.com, an internet worldwide broadcast. So to reach us here at The Ref, and what we do here is, besides that, we do have a couple other hosts that have shows. I think Mary Souza and the Common Sense Radio was just on here a couple hours ago. Mary's going to run for the Senate, from what I hear. Mary's going to be a senator, let's hope. And then we have Mike Loy, who has an evening show and talks about guns and gun control and NRA and everything about guns that you want to know. And so it's Mike Loy, Mary Souza, and then, of course, me, Carmine Conti, The Ref. My show is dedicated to the entertainment industry. Today, we're going to make it the sports entertainment industry today. We're going to talk about that. Unless you got a better topic when you call in, then that'll be just fine, too. And the way you do get a hold of us, there's two ways. If you have a smartphone, tablet, or you're sitting at home listening to your phone, you want to listen to it on your computer, just go to the website, which is www.headsupradio, all one word, .com. And that'll put you to our website. Click on the listen button. It should be on the welcome page there, and it should download for you, and you'll be listening to us live right here from our site to your home. And, of course, if you'd like to send an email to any of the hosts, let me tell you how to do that. For Mary, it would be mary@headsupradio.com, Carmine at headsupradio.com, and Mike at headsupradio.com. And that'd be a great way to get a hold of us, or if you have comments about the show, or if you're interested in promoting, advertising, and whatever you'd like to do, send us an email. We'd love to send a reply back to you and let you know how you can get involved with Heads Up Radio. Currently, of course, as a news station, we're always looking for sponsorships. We got some great packages. Of course, being a news station, we need help. And if you like what we're doing here, we could use your help. One, tell some friends. Almost everybody I know has a smartphone or a tablet or would like to listen to this at home. So that'd be your option of where you might want to do it. And but you can catch us on all three devices just as long as you have something that's smart enough that has internet capabilities. Also, if you want to call in during the show, we do take phone calls during the show. We encourage them, especially if it's something to point or a hot topic suggestion, or if you want to talk about something, a hot topic. And to do that, you would just want to dial 208-758-0546. That's 208-758-0546. Now, that's two ways to be in touch with Heads Up Radio here on the Heads Up Radio Network. And the first, of course, is by internet capabilities, and the other is by calling in. And last but not least, send us a text. So you have 3 ways, and I'm working on a 4th way pretty soon that you'll be able to text right in on my iPad and during the show. So if you don't want me to hear your silver voice and you're shy or something like that, then I'll be able to take your text while I'm on the radio line. I do suggest, though, if you're going to do that, try to do that while we go to break. And it makes it a lot easier to set you up and get ready. So as soon as we start running some commercials, that's when you want to pick up the phone and call on in. So I kind of gave you the outline of how to get a hold of us. And let me give you the other format, as I did last week, and I'll probably do for the next few weeks, just so you get the idea of what the ref includes and surrounds and what we're going to do here as a entertainment official. That's what I am, more so than a sports official, though I was a sports official for about 15 years plus, and in the entertainment industry for about 30 years plus. So I kind of sat down and thought, I think this is a good idea. Maybe we need something as opposed to Entertainment Tonight or just the headlines. We're going to dig into things a little bit deeper than that. We're going to try to look behind the scenes a little bit. Maybe what motivated it, maybe what you might know that motivated the athlete or the artist or the performer, and what their modus operandi was and why they did certain things or why you think they did certain things. We're going to talk about that a little bit. If there's questions in balance, whether it be about sports or rulings or anything like that, I'm going to listen to what you have to say, and then at the end of the show, I'm going to make a ruling on it. That's where I'm going to give that's where the ref part comes in. That's where I'm going to give my opinion or my ruling on that. I'm kind of like a judge, but I really don't want to be a judge because I don't like to judge people. But I am going to give a ruling, and if you disagree or like it, of course, then we welcome, of course, the feedback from you at that time. And second part, right after we come back from a break here, we're going to take a little short break. Since I gave you the parameters, going to give you a chance to write everything down. Think about that. Think about what the guidelines of the show are. When we come back from a break here, we're going to start with our second part of the show, and that's the hot topics. So just keep that in mind while we go to break. Remember, you're listening to The Ref. I'm Carmine Conti right here on Heads Up Radio Network.
Restoration is ready for spring. Are you? Let Avalanche get you ready for summer by making your house or business springtime clean. For all your carpet, upholstery, and window cleaning needs, even those emergency cleanups, call Avalanche. 208-762-2227. Emergency hotline 208-818-4411. Or online, avalancheclean.com. Avalanche, fast, safe, and reliable.
Coffee date today. My kids are sick again, and I have a terrible headache, and medicine just doesn't seem to help.
Seems like you guys are always sick. Have you had your house tested for mold?
Come on, Jen, you know me. I keep my house spotless. There's no mold here.
That's what I thought about our house. We had the same problems last year and called mountain mold testing. They came right out and inspected our whole house for mold.
Really? What happened?
Well, mountain mold testing took air samples, and the lab test showed that we were breathing dangerous, invisible mold. We got the mold cleaned up, and now we don't have any more wheezing, headaches, or congestion. They gave us our health back.
Mold can cause numerous health problems, including allergies, chronic headaches, asthma, and lung infections. Children, pregnant women, and the elderly are especially susceptible. Call Mountain Mold Testing at 208-660-8877. That's 208-660-8877. Online at mountainmoldtesting.com.
In this world of moving commerce, your business is either moving forward or moving backwards. Make sure it moves forward. Maybe it's time we build a spot that fits your image. Blue Creative Group takes the time needed to put together a spot you want people to hear.
and make it a marketing tool to drive customers to your business. With the tools and experience ad agencies and radio stations lack, Blue Creative Group will score it, voice it, and produce it, and if need be, place it on radio and TV stations throughout the Northwest. Blue Creative Group lets you make your branding personal to your target audience. Be creative, be productive, while being cost-effective. Be Blue. Blue Creative Group. Creative marketing plans for the 21st century. Call today, 208-758-0546. 208-758-0546. Carmine Conti, the ref, here on the Heads Up Radio Network.
And welcome back to the Ref. I am Carmine Conti, and glad to have you back here on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. I hope that I didn't catch you too far. Let's see, there's hours apart between us and the East Coast. So for you back east, you're probably just about ready to sit down to dinner. So let me make you sick. Actually, we're going to talk a little bit about 2 or 3 different hot topics that I picked out today. Haven't gotten any calls in yet. If you're sitting out there, remember you can call us at 208-758-0546. Love to have you call in for a hot topic if you got one out there. And if you're listening and you're just about to have dinner, I'll try to make this quick and painless. But I do want to start with the first hot topic today, which is baseball season is upon us. And if you've been listening and following and kind of staying with baseball, I know it's not football. Everybody's still wanting to, more concerned about the NFL draft, I think, than Major League Baseball. And of course, the Final Four has been selected. That seems to have run its route this year, in that it always usually ends up that everybody wants to have that 15th or 16th seeded team get into the Final Four, but guys, it just pretty much doesn't happen. But this year you do have some sleepers. I think UConn is probably the biggest sleeper that I can see in there, but going to probably stick with the Gators. The Gators just look a very formidable team, but you never know. One hot night can change everything in a one and you're out kind of tournament. So good luck to the Final Four, and we'll get to see that here by next week. We'll be announcing who the national champion is. So rest easy, guys. Exciting week, and as I said, more so, baseball season has sprung into action since we last talked, and March Madness, I guess you could say baseball was actually a little bit of March Madness, but here now pretty much almost all the major league teams have played at least 1 or 2 games. And what I wanted to bring up, and it's kind of a hot topic that was really something that we were going to look at, and of course they're introducing this year for the first time, is I'm calling it I'm going to do a segment on it as the season goes by when I pick a good chance to really get into it, but I'm calling it Third Eye Blind. And right away, I think as I said, we're about 2 games into the season, and now I don't know if you have followed this close enough. I'm not going to lay out all the parameters about it and what's going on, except for the fact is that they're going to use instant replay. Now, of course, like football or basketball or even golf or any sport now, they're going to that formidable eye in the sky to kind of capture the moment, take the human element of air out of the game, and make sure that the call is right. But they're not going to allow you to do this on balls and strikes and things like that, but they will allow you on plays of fair or foul, and then also plays at the plate or first base or second base where a tag is involved, or a transfer. What I mean by transfer is like on a double play if the guys didn't catch the ball completely before he transferred it over to his throwing hand to throw out the guy at first. So there's lots of applications that can be used for it, except they won't use it for balls and strikes. But they had to limit it, and here it is last night. I think it was the Giants game against the Diamondbacks, and there was a play at first base, and Bruce Bochy, I believe his name is, the manager of the San Francisco Giants, decided to, the old red flag thing. I want to contest the call, and what it was a pickoff play, and what happened is that the umpire's call was not overturned, and so Bochy then, of course, was out of his challenges. Well, here it comes, ironically, just as Murphy's Law would state, is there's a huge play at home plate, and in a close ball game. And I got to tell you, the umpire, I don't think, was in the right position to make the call, and the runner was out at home, but Bochy could not obviously challenge the play. And now, from my understanding is that when it gets past the 7th or 8th inning, these are challenges that should be something that are done just because, like in NFL football, in the last 2 minutes of the game, you don't have to. There's some rules that apply that there will always be challenges on the play, as in the NFL. Any scoring play, touchdown-wise, there is always a review of the play before it is then radioed down to the white hat, the head referee, to let him signal touchdown. I think in this case, they're going to have to do something like this with baseball. It wasn't really talked about a whole lot this morning, except for the fact that Bochy had used his challenge earlier in the game and then was out of challenges and couldn't challenge the play at home plate, which he would have won easily because the guy was out. Now, I'm thinking, just to help mend this rule a little bit, is that I think they're going to have to, I believe they're going to have to, on all scoring plays or plays at home, I think that they should make sure that either the runner touched the plate or was tagged, or just to make sure, because it could happen. It could have been just the opposite. They could have called him out and the catcher might have missed the tag. But in this case, the catcher did tag him, the pitcher did tag him and covering the plate, and the runner was out. It should have been looked at. Could have been, and some believe was the deciding run of the game as well. So this third eye blind in the sky is going to go through the same thing that you're going to have in football as you're going to have in baseball, and I believe any other sport. Now, they're not going to use it extensively in basketball except for shots at the buzzer to make sure that the ball was out of the player's hand by the time the little light went on in the buzzer and goes off. There's always that little delay, and boy, being an official, I can tell you, one of the scariest calls you have to make is whether that ball is out of the shooter's hands when the buzzer goes off. And because you're not really looking at a clock, you're going by sound. Some believe that the buzzer comes after there's no seconds left on the clock. So I think in this case, that is used very well. Baseball, this is going to be a mess. This is going to truly be a mess until they figure out that they have to use this obviously more than 2 or 3 times in a game. But they might. Everybody says, "Oh yeah, well then they'll be overusing it." I don't believe that to be true. I've seen games where they are very open, shut cases. They're boring. It's a pitcher's duel, which isn't necessarily boring, but there's no controversy. Plays are everything's pretty much cookie cutter baseball. It's just station to station. Nothing really happens. And 7 innings, 8 innings, 9 innings go by. It's 7-0, and who cares? If you're in an 11-0 game, I don't think that's the time that you want to be using your challenge. But there are situations, and of course it came up this year. So I'd like your opinion on that. That's topic number 1, which is, as I said, is third eye blind. And I could go extensively into this today, and I think I'm going to stay away from the aspect of getting too much into this. But if you did watch the highlights on ESPN or Fox or some other station where you saw the highlights of the Diamondbacks-Giants game, you can make your own opinion about that. But even from 3,000 miles away, I can tell you the guy was out at home plate. And that's kind of topic one today. So let's move on to topic two of the hot topics. And the second hot topic of today is the Blues Festival. And now, as I stated last week, or was involved in our show, we talked about the local Coeur d'Alene Blues Festival. And I'm hoping that some got a chance to go either Friday night or Saturday night. Friday night was the big boat cruise. And, of course, Saturday night was the headliners of Geneva Magnus, Curtis Salgado, Big Mambo, Sammy Eubanks. I mean, it was quite a show. Once again, they put on down at the resort. It just keeps getting better each year. And I hope you all had a chance to get out and check that out. The previous night over in Spokane at what used to be the old flour mill over there, I think it is still the old flour mill, but Chateau des Rives, I believe, is there where they used to store the flour, is now where they have wine tastings and concerts. And Pete Rivera, the famed vocalist from Rare Earth, who has been now pretty much a long-time resident here in Coeur d'Alene, Spokane area, as a matter of fact, his sons actually and daughter went to school. Van Holbrook went to school here at Coeur d'Alene. Both the boys played baseball and the daughter played softball. And Pete's been around here for quite a while, involved in this and that and this. I know he did some broadcasting for the Hagedon Network, or Hagedon when they were doing some broadcasting. And then also he's played in one of the local bands here in town, and also now he's playing with one of the local bands over in Spokane. But he does have a little trio that he does, and a new release, I believe, is a new album out on What's the Matter You Records. I have no idea what the record label is, but Pete's been kicking around here for quite a while. And then, of course, he plays with Big Mambo, who was one of the featured headliners of the Blues Festival on Saturday night. So Pete does a little trio thing of acoustic, and then plays with Big Mambo on a regular basis, I guess now. It's one of the featured, along with Jennifer. So they got two great voices fronting Big Mambo. And then, of course, Sammy Eubanks was there, and Sammy, of course, did his great show. He's a 7-time nominated blues artist for vocals here in the Pacific Northwest. So Sammy just keeps getting better and better. I guess he's got a little record deal going on right now, so we look to see some big things from Sammy. And then, of course, Curtis Salgado of the Nighthawks fame out of Eugene, Oregon, and is now on Alligator Records, of course, and he's had a big hit this year and quite a few, let's say, notoriety for Curtis. Curtis has worked very hard. If you know him and know of him and know what he's went through and his battles with cancer and things like that, then you understand that Curtis has come a long way, and we wish him the best. Always great to have him here in Coeur d'Alene, and we hope Curtis continued success with you, Mr. Salgado. And last but not least, Geneva Magnus, who we're not so much familiar with. So we were very fortunate here in the Pacific Northwest to get Geneva to come over here and perform for us here at the Coeur d'Alene Blues Festival. It seems to be something for us. It just, keeps getting bigger and bigger. I don't know if we want to put any sort of a limitation on it here, but what I wanted to talk about a little bit in regards to the artists that come here, and that's where we live, where we're at. And in a lot of ways, people think of us as such a small little place. And we are a small little place. And yet, 80 miles south of us at one of the biggest jazz festivals in the world at the University of Idaho. And also, we have wonderful skiing. This is a retirement community, as it was not before. It was a mining and timber community, and a lot of people from the Dust Bowl era moved here, so during the Depression. And for work because of the timber and mining opportunities. And, we've had a few things here that we are very proud of, and we're very proud of our community and how it's grown. And artistically, we always like to see it grow more like any community. I don't care where you live, unless you live in a big artistic community like New York or Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But realize that whether you're performing at the Met in New York, or if you're performing at the resort here in Coeur d'Alene, shows are shows, and people pay good money to come see you. What we'd like you to do is leave your attitude in the hotel room you're staying in. In regards to what's happening here, it's an honor to be on a stage and perform. It's not something that you were born with, that you've been given grace to be able to do just because of your talent or supposedly lack of. And talent covers a lot of area besides just the fact that you are a talented person. Sometimes doesn't necessarily mean that you're a talented individual in regards to how you might come off to other people. And I think that it was mentioned, I did anyway, I mentioned something in regards to that through what I would call our very reliable friends or people that have had seen some of these artists in other places. And I could go back in regards to Curtis or Sammy or any of them for that matter. We all have a past that we carry around with us. Just remember that some people remember that past and we'll remind you of it occasionally. I sure am reminding of mine at times. So I live with that, and knowing that when I get to a limit or when I go over that limit sometimes, it's nice to be kept in check. And what I was bringing up in regards to one of the artists on the bill was keeping things in check, and it was turned completely sideways against me as I was being critiquing that part of it, and which just led me to believe that what I was then saying was absolutely true. So watch how you defend yourself in regards to things like that, because sometimes it does point out exactly how frail you are egotistically. And we're here to see you perform. When people laud or praise you about other things, then you're going to become more scrutinized. I mean, obviously, we can tell that with any of the big major stars. We don't really look at how Justin Bieber performs. We don't critique too much about that, but we more so critique about his offstage performance in how he drives the roads in Florida, or what he smokes in his peace pipe, or his pipe of peace. That's where you're going to become part of the critique, and if you need to defend that amorously, then I would say most of the time you're probably guilty of exactly what you're being pointed out to. And we don't have a lot of ways to judge and set up a market or set up a scale of how we judge people in this business. And really what we do that with is we kind of do that by popularity, whether it be through Billboard or Rolling Stone, or in this case, NARAS, which is the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences, and that then is a voting situation by members, and that's how we judge our artist, or that's how you get graded. That's your scale. That's what you are. You're carrying around 4 or 5 Grammys or whatever like that, then, or nominated for that. Obviously, the respect level goes up on the meter a lot bigger than somebody who talks the game but has nothing to show for it. And so be wise is that, unless you got the approval or the voting of what we're using as a scale in this business to grade you on, is that really you're just being graded on a lot of the times on what kind of person you are. And so I always would say, if you're packing, then that means you got 3 or 4 of those babies sitting on a shelf somewhere. Otherwise, you're just jacking. And So that's topic number 2. If you got something to add on that one, I haven't fully made a decision on that. As I said, I got kind of thrown in the middle of the situation, and it's been kind of pumped back at me. And so, you know what? I'm pumping back at you about it. And I'm not happy. I got something to pin in the voice about it, and I wasn't going to get on more about it than that. I guess I could probably build it a little bit more if I wanted to, but I'm going to kind of leave it at that. And before we go to the other hot topics of the day, I got a couple more I'm going to go into. I want to remind you that you're listening to the Heads Up Radio Network. I am Carmine Conti. I am the ref. We'll be back here in a few minutes. Come on back and have some chicken, build up, call me, talk to me.
Experiencing an avalanche? The damage from water, fire, or mold can be a disaster and costly. Let Avalanche Cleaning and Restoration repair your disaster fast, safe, and reliably. Call 208-762-2227 for pricing, or if you have an avalanche emergency, call the hotline 24 hours, 818-4411. Avalanche Cleaning and Restoration. Fast, safe, and reliable. 818-4411.
To our coffee date today. My kids are sick again, and I have a terrible headache, and medicine just doesn't seem to help.
Seems like you guys are always sick. Have you had your house tested for mold?
Come on, Jen, you know me. I keep my house spotless. There's no mold here.
That's what I thought about our house. We had the same problems last year and called mountain mold testing. They came right out and inspected our whole house for mold.
Really? What happened?
Well, mountain mold testing took air samples, and the lab test showed that we were breathing dangerous, invisible mold. We got the mold cleaned up, and now we don't have any more wheezing, headaches, or congestion. They gave us our health back.
Mold can cause numerous health problems, including allergies, chronic headaches, asthma, and lung infections. Children, pregnant women, and the elderly are especially susceptible. Call Mountain Mold Testing at 208-660-8877. That's 208-660-8877. Online at mountainmoldtesting.com.
Something different to do tonight? Thinking of a restaurant that you haven't been to for a while, or a place to take the kids out for a fun night? Ever find yourself in this situation? This is a question that prompted publisher Jeanette Dunn to create Idaho Cuisine and Spokane Sizzle dining and entertainment guides. And it just keeps getting better with their pocket guides, online editions, and now online local restaurant finder at sizzlingcuisine.com. Also find local wineries, breweries, distilleries, great recipes from local chefs, hot spots and cool happenings, and chances to vote for your favorites. Be in the know about local happenings when you sign up for the Sizzling Cuisine e-News, delivered to your desktop weekly, and be eligible to win a free dinner for two. You've always enjoyed reading the magazines. Now it's easy to flip through them online too. Makes it easy to find restaurants that offer great menus prepared by experienced staffs who really care to serve you the best in local cuisine. Spokane Sizzle and Idaho Cuisine are online at sizzleincuisine.com. We do the footwork to make it easy for you to find just what you're looking for. Keeping entertainment fair. It's the Ref. Carmine Conti here on the Heads Up Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Ref here. My name is Carmine Conti, and I am the Ref, the entertainment Ref. Keeping entertainment fair. Listen if you dare. And welcome back here. We were talking about, just to kind of give a brief summary. I must be hungry. Brief summary. We were talking about the Coeur d'Alene Blues Festival and a little bit of just about music and musicians, basically, end all. And the summary, more or less, on that, I am not using that as the hot topic of the day, so I'm just going to kind of finish up with that, is that we love the idea of having this kind of talent. Matter of fact, Craig Heimbigner, who is the promoter of that, handles pretty much the booking and stuff like that for the resort in regards to that festival, does a great job with that, and We don't want to discourage anything that is coming our way because we don't get a lot. And I would say compared to even Spokane in regards to big name talent coming into our midst here in the Lake City. But I did want to make sure that we welcome you with open arms, and we love you to come here and perform and play with us and enjoy what we have here. We just want you to make sure that you keep it in check when you do come here. Also, I did want to kind of do a little bit. One of the band, the Randy Oxford Band, was one of the bands that was here as well. And Paulie O'Keery is the bass player. It used to be Too Slim and the Taildraggers bass player for a few years. Plays with Randy now occasionally, and she has a new album out. And we were hoping to get her in on Friday or Saturday, but because of sound checks and time constraints on when they had to play, we weren't able to do that. And Polly's running off, I believe, here to Nicaragua after next weekend. And next weekend, importantly, being is, of course, if you are worldwide even, you'd know that they had a pretty big mudslide there in Arlington, Oso, right in western Washington there, where it did kill quite a few people, and quite a few are still missing at this point. And Polly's involved with a group of blues musicians and musicians, period, here on the West Coast, here up in Washington, that are going to do a benefit. And I think it's called Blues for the Slide. And musicians are donating their time and putting on this and raising money through silent auction to help benefit the families of this terrible, terrible tragedy in Arlington there. And then after that, she's off to Nicaragua to help raise money for schools and school supplies down there for the kids. I guess she does this quite on a yearly basis, so quite often, being that she's done it quite a few times, more than quite often. But she helps raise money for the kids down in there. I believe that's true in regards to that. And also, I think she's just been accepted to do her doctoral at the University of Washington. So Polly's quite a gal. We would have loved to have had her here, and we eventually will here on Heads Up Radio, whether we do it by phone, but I'm going to let her, she's got a busy week this week in preparing for the benefit, and then also she'll be leaving then the Monday after the benefit. That benefit is on Sunday, so you can go online, and I think it is called Blues for the Slide, or Slide for the Blues, something like that. Just pencil that on up or type it on up on your browser. I'm sure you'll find it. If you want to get involved, or if you're over on the west side and you want to get involved, please do. And very, very commendable. But we will get Polly after her trip, talk about Nicaragua and her days in Too Slim and her new album, and lots of stuff to talk to Polly about. So Polly's going to be one of our guest hosts here. We'll have her here in the month, I hope, and if not, by the beginning of next month. But very, very commendable young lady, and very fascinated to talk with her. So I look forward to that. Hope you do too. And that leads us into our pretty much our third and foremost topic of the day. Just a point of reference here. I got a news bulletin. Honda has now made the fastest lawnmower in the world. So we'll discuss more about the fastest lawnmower in the world. I'm still trying to figure out. I think the producer told me, Trip told me, something like it went 116 miles an hour. Yeah, and but the question is, does it cut grass at 116? So, and we looked at the commercial and we didn't see any grass a-flying. So, I need to see some grass a-flying. That would be the Guinness. How fast can you drive a lawnmower while it's cutting grass? That's what I want to know. And speaking of grass, in the state of Washington, of course, grass, where some of the most beautiful grass I've ever seen, is going to pretty much come to your TV sets next week, and the Masters. And of course, the big news, the hot topic here of the week, for this week anyway, is the absence of Eldrick Woods. Tiger Woods, El Tigre, will not be playing in the Masters. I think this is the first time he's missed it since he played in 1997, I believe it was the first year, or maybe 96, 97, whatever. He is missing the Masters this year because of back surgery. And I thought, well, how bad is this? Well, as of this morning, it looks very much like so, that he will miss not only the Masters, but the U.S. Open, the British Open, and possibly he'll be back for the final of the Grand Slam, which is the PGA, and I believe they're playing that at Pinehurst this year. Maybe the Open I believe is at Pinehurst, but they're saying he might be back for the PGA. I mean, they're saying it's about 3 months for recovery for this kind of injury, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more about it on Tiger TV. The main thing is that, well, I guess I'm not going to watch the Masters. Well, listen, if you don't watch the Masters because Woods not playing, you're not truly a golfer. I mean, if your main focus is whether Tiger Woods is playing or not, and that's the reason you watch golf, do me a favor, don't play anymore. That place is absolutely spectacular. There have been many a legend there prior to him, and there'll be many a legend there prior or after him. And has he brought a lot of people to the game? Yes, he has. Has he done a lot of things for the game? Yes, he has. And he's made the game what I call accessible. And for people who thought of it only to be for the rich and well-to-do and connected people, Tiger has just made that whole rumor and showing you that anybody can play this game. Just the fact that you'll go out and practice and work hard at it is something that he did. I don't necessarily think, Tiger didn't come from a country club type atmosphere. I mean, his father was a Marine, I believe, and just made him work hard, instilled those work ethics into him that put him where he is. And we need to applaud that, but we also need to recognize the fact that the game is bigger than Mr. Eldrick Woods. And when it's all over and done with, we'll have another one like Tiger up there. And but the Masters is probably, to me, it's one of the most picturesque. My wife and I just love to watch it on TV, just to watch how beautiful it is. I mean, you couldn't probably direct a movie or set up a movie set any prettier than that landscaping that they do there at Augusta. So that starts next week, and get ready for it. It should be good, and always nice to see. I mean, we have a lot of new young talent in there, so who knows, maybe Ricky will win or Bubba again, and of course, the sentimental favorites like Phil might do well. He hasn't been playing extremely well lately, but give me your picks. If you got an idea on who you might want to do that, put them in the pool. I know when I worked at a golf course, we always used to have a pool, and whoever finished in first or whoever finished the highest won the pool. So send in your favorite. Who do you think is going to win the Masters this year? And remember, to watch it, even though Tiger won't be there, maybe in spirit he will be. I'm sure of that. And the surgery went well, so I feel fortunate enough for Tiger in that sense. Everything looks like it's going to be on track. He just needs to take some time, heal, and have him back next year. Maybe take the year off and go skiing with Lindsey Vonn or something. Whatever Tiger likes to do. Also, we are, to kind of lament on that a little bit, is that in the future we are here locally have one of the premier club makers in the country and the world, that is, in Henry Griffiths. And we have done some spot work for him, and the young man who runs Henry Griffiths now, and Randy Hendry, excuse me, and we are going to try to get them in here and talk about golf clubs and golf and their feelings about golf. So we're going to do a segment on golf here this spring, And probably pretty soon, with everybody now where we're at up here in the Northwest, the golf courses are just about ripe. They're just getting ready to start cutting them and getting people out on them. You know, the freezing's pretty much done here, we hope. We're not having that lingering winter like you are back east, and so we're ready to play some golf here. And speaking of getting ready to play some golf, we're getting ready to sell some chicken, so we're going to take kind of our last break here before we make the ruling on the day and what the topic was of the day, and I'll tell you what that is when we come back. My name is Carmine Conti. I am the ref here, and don't go away. You're listening to Heads Up Radio.
Coffee date today. My kids are sick again, and I have a terrible headache, and medicine just doesn't seem to help.
Seems like you guys are always sick. Have you had your house tested for mold?
Come on, Jen, you know me. I keep my house spotless. There's no mold here.
That's what I thought about our house. We had the same problems last year and called mountain mold testing. They came right out and inspected our whole house for mold.
Really? What happened?
Well, mountain mold testing took air samples, and the lab test showed that we were breathing dangerous, invisible mold. We got the mold cleaned up, and now we don't have any more wheezing, headaches, or congestion. They gave us our health back.
Mold can cause numerous health problems, including allergies, chronic headaches, asthma, and lung infections. Children, pregnant women, and the elderly are especially susceptible. Call Mountain Mold Testing at 208-660-8877. That's 208-660-8877. Online at mountainmoldtesting.com.
Avalanche Cleaning and Restoration is ready for spring. Are you? Let Avalanche get you ready for summer by making your house or business springtime clean. For all your carpet upholstery and window cleaning needs, even those emergency cleanups, call Avalanche. 208-762-2227. Emergency hotline 208-818-4411 or online avalancheclean.com. Avalanche, fast, safe, and reliable.
You're listening to the Heads Up Radio Network. The Ref, Carmine Conti.
And welcome back to The Ref. My name is Carmine Conti. I portray the vision of the ref. Don't have to wear the stripes anymore, but do have to wear striped shirts every once in a while when I go out. Not black and white, though. That's kind of nice. Listen, guys, we've talked here today about 2 or 3 different topics. And the first one, that we kind of went over a little bit in length, the Blues Festival. Then, of course, we talked a little bit about the end of March Madness and the beginning of baseball season. I kind of want to use the premise of the baseball season, and what we're getting into is today's ruling, or my ruling. I didn't get any feedback on it, but I got some feedback from friends, and it's one of those things, the weekend, and here we are at Wednesday, and on Monday, of course, we talked about some things in regards to the game of baseball, where it's going, what it's been. I have a past in it. I have a family past in it, and it's kind of like I look at baseball as being America's pastime, and I look at it more sometimes is that the lack of interest in the game seems to be a current trend that we have, not just in baseball, but we have in music, we have in anything. Matter of fact, one of the things that came up this week was the actress Gwyneth Paltrow had made a remark in regards to the fact that she felt acting was even more laborious than being a 9-to-5 housewife. And I think we're getting on a track here in this country and in the world of sport and entertainment as well, is that, listen, entertainment, that's what you're here for. You're here to entertain us. You survive and you make your money off us. And I mean us as the public that pays for the ticket, the public that buys the jerseys, the public that buys the DVD, and the public that buys the CD. And that's what we're here. We're here to let you entertain us. And part of the entertainment package is not whether or not you think being an actress is more laborious than being a 9-to-5 mother of 3. It's like the opinions need to stop. Now, who's responsible for this? And I'm going to tag it back to the media. And here I am. I'm an entertainment program, and I'm here to officiate more or less over the entertainment industry, and that's what I'm doing today. That's where I'm focusing at today. I talked a little bit about the Blues Festival. I talked a little bit about musicians. I've talked a little bit about what proprietary rights you have and what you might do on the outside of it. And as I even brought into play somebody like Paulie O'Keefe, who's going to Nicaragua to work and build school supplies for the kids there. Matter of fact, one of our local sound and lighting companies, or lighting companies here, does extensive work down in South America or Latin America and Central America on helping bringing medicine or doctors or bringing in supplies for these people who live in a third world country who don't have that, who aren't as privy to exactly what I'm saying about entertainment. It always starts to ruffle my feathers is that when the people that are in the entertainment industry, especially actors, singers, dancers, musicians, athletes, listen, it's pretty hard for me to grasp anything of profound literature or common sense even when these guys who are athletes are carrying around guns in nightclubs and shooting themselves, actually, of all things, and then turning around explaining to us or to our children, of course, who are very influenced by the fact that it's all about the bling or the ring. And when you've got a lot of both, it seems like your word is gospel. Well, no, it's not. And nor should we be taking advice or listening to the roles or characters that are played in these roles, whether it's somebody like an Allen Iverson who thinks practice isn't something. Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's exactly how he got to where he is he had to practice to be that good. A musician, you have to practice to hone your craft. And as an actor or an actress, it's the same thing. You have to rehearse or practice to be able to perform these crafts. Or a dancer, I don't care what you are in the entertainment industry. Just remember, you are the entertainer. We didn't come for a world philosophy class or an economics class. We came to watch you be Rocky, or we came to watch you be the Great Gatsby or something. But we didn't come to hear your philosophy, Gwyneth, in regards to whether or not you feel working those many hours a day, 14 as you say, is, let's see, probably harder than some guy in a ditch in Afghanistan protecting your right to be able to say that. I wonder how his 14-hour day is. So please, as I used to say, get off the cross, we need the wood. So in wrapping up today, I'm just going to let you know, I am here to kind of encourage, but I'm also here to discourage when I see something that I don't like, or if I see something that's falling by the wayside. And today that has to deal with musicians and entertainers and artists and performers and athletes that are all part of what we call the entertainment world. It's like, remember the world you live in. And it does have rules, and it does have guidelines. Try to keep within them. I always say, color within the lines instead of outside of them. Listen, you've been listening to The Ref today. My name is Carmine Conti. You'll hear me every Wednesday here on the Heads Up Radio Network. It's been a pleasure. Call in, write in, critique, anything you like. Love to hear back from you. And until then, I'll see you next Wednesday.